Hello, my name is Sanjay Shende. I am a student of National College of Ireland, and what you see here on this page, these are my student credentials. They include my roll number, name of the project, what it is all about, so you can pause and look at it whenever you wish to. Okay. The main task of this project is to be able to architect, populate, and explore a data warehouse for the purposes of business intelligence. We must be able to demonstrate a working knowledge of the extraction, transformation, and loading process, or ETL as it is popularly called. We must also be able to use three types of data: structured, semi-structured, and unstructured, such as from social media feeds like Twitter. This project must accomplish the following two tasks. We must assume the role as a data warehousing and business intelligence expert and build a prototype data warehouse to convince management to invest in a fully fledged data warehouse. We must also prepare three or more appropriate case studies that can be used to convince management of the usefulness or utility of a data warehouse solution. Basically, convince management to buy into the notion of investing into a data warehouse. An important consideration for a data warehouse is that we must consider the return on investment, or the ROI. Since data warehousing projects involve a high investment, the end has to justify the means. That is, the return on the investment must prove that the gains from investing in a data warehouse justify that investment by way of enhanced profitability and better processes. Data warehouses are reported to fail 50% of the times, according to studies, if they are poorly planned or badly executed. In the initial part of my project, I have discussed a few things about how a data warehouse works, what are the factors to its success, as you can see from my report, and I have then created this little diagram which explains pictorially the whole process of ETL. As you can see, this is a step-by-step diagram from bottom up. It starts from the stage of extracting the data to administrating and running the data into the warehouse to creation of OLAP cubes, which is the online analytical process cubes, and finally deriving the results from the data which I worked with was in an extremely difficult format. They were all .srf files, or server reference files, and they were in this format as you see in the picture at the moment in front of you. Each docket was nested under the day, and the days were nested under the months, and the months were nested under the years, and so on, as you can see from these pictures here. In order to extract all my data, I wrote a very good program with C#, which is demonstrated here, and it basically converts all the .srf files into .csv files. I started my ETL process by building my data warehouse by creation of a new project on MS SQL and called it Data Warehouse Project. I created my initial staging table in which I extracted all the data from the .csvs thus created. Next, I cleans up the data using this SQL syntax. As you can see, this is getting rid of all the semicolons, blank spaces, stars, and asterisks, and cleaning up my data and making it fit for purpose. After building my fact table, I also built all my other dimension tables like customers, employees, menu items, and extracted the data and broke them down from the staging table. Here you can see my architecture is already falling in place. It's beginning to gain some shape. And then I opened the Visual Studio and created a project for the ETL process and named it DWETL. I blanked out all the data from the tables first to clean it up in order to be able to put sensible data into it. I also used RStudio to get some Twitter feeds and do a sentimental analysis based on a online program which basically analyzes Excel sheets, and this is the result for that. After passing the data from all the discrete sources and so on, I was able to eventually do the multicasting and load all the data from the staging table, and this is what it shows it. And finally merge all the data into the OLADB destination, and using the above SQL command, I extracted all the data from the various dimension tables and sentimental tables and stored it in my fact table. This screen finally shows the effective and successful completion of my ETL project, as you can see, and we'll be moving on to the analysis services next. Next, I built my OLAP cube using the analysis service. I select all my data sources. We can now see the dimensions and their relationship. Using the dimensions, I specify all my source. After finishing my analysis service, I was able to generate the outputs and get some results using the pivot tables on MS Excel. And these are some of my outputs. As you can see, all these outputs have been analyzed and discussed and included in the report. But effectively, what I'm trying to say is that I was successful in creating a good database project. I would just like to quickly show you an interesting sentimental analysis draft that displays my unstructured data analysis using Twitter feed, and that tells you the positive, negative, and neutral comments for all the various dishes. So basically, the written report will conclude with the rest of the analysis, but this brings us to the end of this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you very much for watching.